Hello and welcome to another episode of BRCGS Bitesize, a series of information videos from BRCGS. The series will cover topics across the range of BRCGS standards and will aim to answer questions posed by our customers. I'm your host, Barry Meikle, and today's bite-sized topic is understanding root cause analysis. Today I'm joined by John Figgins, who is BRCGS's Head of Technical. John, good afternoon, good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Thank you for joining me. Can you just give our audience a little bit of an understanding of your role at BRCGS, please?
Yes, well, it's quite a wide-ranging role, providing technical support to the complete range of products and services. So whether that's standard development or industry needs, direction of future product development, wherever technical assistance is needed, I tend to be adding as much value as possible.
And you do that with great aplomb, may I say. So usually, I think we joked beforehand. I said that usually I'm delighted to be joined by, and today I should say I'm honoured to be joined by. So let's go with that. Okay. So root cause analysis, obviously a very wide topic, very broad topic, and kind of tough to cover in 5 to 8 minutes that we've got here. But generally, what are the important factors of root cause analysis? Why is it important?
Well, I think that you're quite right when you say it's a very broad topic, and because doing it well can sometimes be challenging, we sometimes make the definitions and the initial discussion on the topic quite broad as well, which can perhaps add too much information too quickly. But at its heart, root cause analysis is just a tool. And it's a tool to help us do management of any issues, incidents, or non-conforming situations well. What we're very good at in most industries is when there's a problem, dealing with the problem, dealing with the immediate effects, the immediate product or situation. But an important part of dealing with any situation is to think about how we stop it happening again. And to stop it happening again, you have to know why it has happened. And that's the key to root cause analysis. It's a tool to help us think about why it has happened and what the causes are. Because if you understand the why and the causes, then you can think about what actions would effectively stop that from happening. So the tool is designed, and there's lots of different ways of doing root cause analysis, but those tools are all designed to provide a structured approach so that you go through a process so that you establish the why and the how something has happened, and that should hopefully enable you to put something together that prevents it happening again. And I think really one of the things we must always remember is it's that output, that action to stop it happening again, which is the real critical part of what we're trying to achieve.
So you mentioned that there are different models out there. So I think we know about the 5 whys and the Ishikawa and those types of things. Have you found one that is not a catch-all, but are there specific models that are best for different circumstances? And if so, or is there one that's generally the best one? Which one would you go for? Can you commit to one model, or do you need to be flexible depending on the situation?
I think a lot of the answer to that depends on familiarity and the ways you prefer to work. There's no correct answer to say this specific model is the right one. And often people will become more familiar with a particular tool, and that's obviously the one that then works for them and their company. My personal experience, however, is that the complexity of the situation can also have an impact on which tool works best. Something like the 5 whys is very simple. So for smaller situations, it's really, really very good. But if you were in the unfortunate situation of having a complex incident, something like the Ishikawa diagram gives you a bit more structure and some key questions to ask, and that can be of great assistance. The other thing to remember, of course, is that a number of countries have got legislative references to root cause analysis, and obviously making sure that any tool you use reflects those as well.
Yeah. So so assuming that we've picked the correct model for the specific situation and we've undertaken the root cause analysis to the best of our ability, what why do we need to have the root cause analysis be as good as possible? Why is it beneficial to do a good root cause analysis?
Well, it's beneficial for a number of reasons, but ultimately we're trying to stop it happening again. So the better your root cause analysis, the more likely you are to come to those correct conclusions, and therefore the more effective your actual actions can be. There's nothing worse than trying to estimate why something happened and then either not getting it correct or only getting it partially correct so that something vital is missed. And that's absolutely key to why the quality of the root cause analysis. But of course, that brings its own challenges with it because that takes some effort. And if we're talking about a situation just after something has gone wrong, there's always pressures to think about other aspects of the role, and it does need time to invest in that quality to make sure that it is as good as possible, so the outputs can be as good as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the benefits of finding the true root cause is to comply with the BRCGS standard to which you're certified against, and make sure you don't have a repeat NC at the next audit and things like that. But is there how do we know when we get to the true root cause? Because I imagine that can be quite difficult in some situations where you think you've found the root cause, but it only transpires later that actually you haven't. So how would we avoid those kind of situations, or try to
Yeah,
avoid them?
well, you have to, yeah, and that's an ongoing challenge always with this particular thing. You usually have to proceed down until you think that you're about there. You may do a little bit more investigating and find out that actually after that there's not a useful answer. But one of the absolute keys is making sure that it's a system that can be managed. That your calls has to be something that can be managed. It has to be a process or a policy or a way of working within the site that can be improved or amended to bring a control in place. And the other step there is some form of either monitoring or verification um, after you've introduced the controls, the actions, to ensure that it is doing what you hope it's doing. Now, I hasten to add it, monitoring on itself isn't a good action because that doesn't have an endpoint. You want something that fixes it and then you
Yeah.
can move on. But it's an important part of checking the process to make sure you have found the cause.
Yeah, and monitoring can be fallible, right? So it's not always good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, John, thank you very much for your time. I just want to point people to the Understanding Root Cause Analysis guideline that is available on the BRCGS store. If you are certified against one of the BRCGS core standards, then you will be able to find that for free on Participate. So all these me now, John, is to thank you for your time very much today. And if you have a topic that you would like to see discussed on a future episode of BRCGS Bitesize, please email us at brcgs.inquiries@lgcgroup.com. John, thank you very much again for your time, and we'll see
Pleasure.
you on the next one. Thank you.